Hello again. Welcome back to the Flyin Style Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mitchell, back with my illustrious co-host, Steven Maslij.
Thank you for the introduction. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back on this little late podcast, but I hope we have it out before the Monday night game. I'm excited,
Yes,
Matt.
sir.
Coming in, you say it because he has to be the same.
No, do your thing, man. Go ahead.
Coming in 2-0 this week, gentlemen, ladies, whatever the hell I'm supposed to say. Coming off a nice win against the Vikings last Thursday night. It's been a very long little break that we might have needed. Coming off a 34-28 win. And thoughts on the game, Matt Mitchell, to start off the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, 34-28, it was a good game. Obviously, a lot of Eagles fans were a little bit upset with the lack of production from the Eagles offense outside of the running game. Jalen Hurts has been a little bit slow in the passing game so far with about 178 yards in the game, or 193, my apologies. And I believe 178 of them. No, I'm all over the place. I don't know where I got the number 178. Restart, rewind. Jalen Hurts with 193 passing yards. Devontae Smith with 131 of those. And then the rest of our yards went to DeAndre Swift, our brand new guy, who had, there it is, 175 yards and a touchdown.
There it is. Right near 178.
Yeah, so listen, like a lot of people were really complaining about this game, really upset with the lack of production from the offense. Defense let up some points late. People are really misunderstanding the fact that we're a 2-0 team averaging 30 points per game right now. Like, I really don't care how it looks. I really don't. Obviously, it's more fun to watch them air the ball out and, launch it downfield and just be running all over, like, the teams and stuff like that. Dude, they're doing what they need to do to win. I get that, like, the two teams we played so far haven't been, like, stellar. But I do think that they need to clean stuff up against the better teams. They're going to struggle against better teams when they come down to it with the way they're playing right now. But the Eagles are 2-0, and I'm happy with it. And they're still playing well, and they're doing whatever they need to do to win.
We had 430 yards with offense. Can everyone stop complaining about our offense? Like, I understand that people want Jalen to throw for 300 yards and want him to be an MVP. He hasn't played like it, and I really don't care. Like, it's okay because the one thing he said in the interview is what's the only thing he cares about is winning, right? Like, he's being fine. He's not turning the ball over a ton. He turned the ball over once this game, but like in the last game, he hasn't been MVP level, but we just stick to what works, right? And if the offense is getting, like you said, 30 points a game and averaging 400 yards, is like, why are people complaining? And we haven't lost. Like, I just don't understand it. And if you don't think that Jalen Hurts is off of, like, we had a 5-day break plus the entire week almost, like, because we were playing on Monday night after a Thursday night game. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we're going to be fine. Like, yeah. AJ Brown will be fine. Like, schematically, I think we'll, like, figure it out on offense. Defense, like, we're a little banged up. I think we're getting back. I didn't triple check on Bradbury. I know Maddox is out for the year. I don't know if we mentioned that already. But can everyone just, like, calm down? I hate
when Philadelphia fans take things like they get given an inch and they take a mile, and they want everything to be perfect all the time. They want everything to be like they want it. Like, obviously, we were one of the most dominant teams in the league last year. But they wanted us to walk out here and dominate every single game we played this year, and that we knew that wasn't going to happen. We knew that wasn't going to happen. The schedule's harder. It's a new year, new team, different players. Things are going to be different. And we definitely, caught a little bit of lightning in a bottle last year. Like, we definitely, caught momentum last year and ran with it and ran it all the way. But regardless of what way you look at it, how this season's going, Jalen Hurts in his past 20 starts is 19-1. So freaking relax. I'm not worried. I don't think anyone has any reason to be worried. We are fine.
One of my coworkers came up to me and he goes, "What do you think about, like, us paying Jalen? Do you think that, like, mattered that we're paying him now, so, like, he's not trying as hard and everything?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "We should have traded him." And I heard WIP caller say it, so I'm like, I think it's whack. They go, "Oh, we should have traded him at, like, his top value, got, like, picks and stuff." And I was like, Who else do you want to play quarterback for us? Like, name another person that you could sign to play quarterback for us that's better than Jalen Hurts. Sign, let alone, like, you can't name more than 3 guys in the league that are better than him.
You can't even sign quarterbacks anyway, because when you sign quarterbacks, you have to overpay them ridiculously, and it's not worth it.
I just don't understand. Like, what? I just don't know what they want from a dude. Like, what?
Philly fans are the worst in that regard, where they like to say that Philly fans are the most loyal fans in the world and stuff like that. Yeah, we're loyal to the team, but Philly fans are the worst when it comes down to taking care of the players and treating the players right, because dude, Jalen Hurts has done everything for this city that he possibly can since he's been here. Took us to a Super Bowl last year, almost won MVP. We are 2-0 to start this year. If Philly fans can stop being so damn ungrateful and appreciate what's going on right now and appreciate that we have one of the best teams in the NFL in our city, that would be really freaking fantastic, because I'm kind of sick of hearing all the hate that jumps around this city, because it's not fair to the players. They work their asses off to please us and, do their thing every day. And they're fucking 2-0. Excuse my language. Like, it really does bother the hell out of me that people can't just like see that and, smell the flowers.
Also, like, people are saying like we scraped away with this game. Bro, we're up 35-21 with 4 minutes and 13 seconds left.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
listen,
I don't know if I'm watching a different game, Matt. Like, I really don't know, because ESPN is telling me something different. WIP is telling me something different. Every other media's podcast is going to tell you something different. It's like ridiculous. Like, I feel like we're dominating. I know the Patriots game was close, but it's in Foxborough with a great defense. Like, what do you want?
We were absolutely dominating this game up until the fourth quarter. Listen, Sean Desai started running his stupid prevent defense, which I think is the worst thing to ever be created in football. Let them get play 15 yards back, let them get yards in front of you. Just don't let them get quick touchdowns, which I think it still turns into quick touchdowns anyway. I don't get the point of it at all. But regardless, look at what Justin Jefferson finished with this game, right? Justin Jefferson finished with 11 receptions for 159 yards, right? When we were going into the fourth quarter, I think he had 3 receptions for like 30-something yards. Would you say that's a good game from Justin Jefferson? Absolutely not. We let up a ton of yards and receptions in the prevent defense in the late game, but like, we weren't worried about that. In fact, I was actually super pleased about it because he's on my fantasy team. It was perfect for me.
Dude, this game kind of reminded me of the Lions a little bit in a way of last year, week 1. We dominate, we score high, and then they come back and people look back at the score and like, oh, it's a 1-score game. Like, I know at halftime it was close. It was what we were up because Justin Jefferson missed that touchdown. That was another thing. That touchdown that got out of the end zone when he dove for the pylon. Like, people were saying, like, oh, he gets that there. He didn't get it, okay?
He didn't get it.
And they're not changing that rule, okay? Stupid Vikings fans, they're not changing that rule. They never will, because every single call is for the offensive player. You can't touch the guy. You can't do anything. If you fumble out of bounds anywhere else on the field other than the back of the end zone, it's the offensive ball. But no, it goes out of the back of the end zone, it's defensive ball. I would have said the same thing for if the Eagles had it. It's just a rule, and they're not going to change the rules, so offense is just better. But I understand that's a lot of people's point of like, yeah, we didn't play amazing this game, but we dominated running the ball. We dominated this team, and we won the game. I don't know, man. I just want to look, and we're getting underrated.
Really cool stat. I do want to give big props to the offensive line this game. The offensive line really stepped up, especially in consideration of how they played the first game. But I do want to point out a stat that I thought was one of the coolest stats I've heard in a while. Out of DeAndre Swift's 175 rushing yards, he had 133 before contact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big holes. Big holes,
brother. Big holes. They were doing a great job. And I don't have the exact stat pulled up, so don't completely quote me on this, but I did see a stat saying that Jalen Hurts had the most time in the pocket last week, like by a pretty long shot. So I think his average time in the pocket this year is the highest in the league by like a decent amount. So, yeah, the first game, it didn't really feel like it. The first game, we felt like revolving doors, if you ask me. But the second game, we really came around. And I also saw that Jordan Mailata had the highest PFF grade for a tackle in history of PFF. How nuts, right? Like,
crazy. That's
just a really, really well played game by the offensive line. Definitely the key to the game, why we won that game. 175 yards from our new running back is just phenomenal. And I'm hoping that's going to lead to us using DeAndre Swift more because, like I've been saying, holy crap, DeAndre Swift is really good at football. He can run the ball really well. He's fast. He's explosive. He hits the holes. Please keep him in the backfield.
Don't worry. Well, I mean, Kenny did fine. We're just gonna. You can never trust the Eagles running back if you have a fantasy team, and I'm okay with it because we just keep the high hand rolling. And Swift has been great. So if we can give him the ball first and he gets hot, let him go. If he starts to struggle a little bit,
I don't mind if he splits. I really do want to see him getting closer to like 15 touches a game at least. I don't know if that's too much to ask for. It probably is, but
I mean, there probably won't be another game where he gets 28 touches like in his.
I don't need him to get 28. I need him to get 10 to 15.
I know. I'm just saying. Like this is just how the Eagles' offense is. It's very unreliable what we're gonna do. That's why I think we're gonna have a big passing game because everyone else thinks they're gonna run, and then we'll get into the Bucs run defense. But end week 2 recap. We got to win. I'm very surprised about the time in the pocket stat. It didn't. Maybe I'm just like recognizing every time they blitz, like they end up getting there for Jalen and he doesn't have any time. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe
I agree. It didn't really feel like that. It didn't feel like that's what we saw. But I think it was the second game that he had a lot more time in the pocket that increased his average time, including the first game. Because the first game he didn't have any time. That's just a fact. He didn't have any time to throw the ball. But second game he absolutely had a little more time. So I mean, yeah, give and take. But like, offensive line's playing well. Passing game's really got to step it up. Run game has been phenomenal. Our D-line has been playing pretty well as well. One more stat is that Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are the PFF number 3 and 4 D tackles in the league right now. Playing very well from our 2 young guys. And
they look really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting a little banged up over on defense, but the big thing I want to see a difference in is Sean freaking Desai. I am just not impressed with him so far. His play calling, his decision making, the way he sets up the game. I do not like any of it. So I need to see him really, change his game plan up or at least be able to adjust to offenses because I haven't seen it yet. And I don't want to see any more of this stupid freaking prevent defense. It's the worst defense in football. It doesn't work. It doesn't do you any favors whatsoever. Take it out of the freaking game.
No, I 100% agree. And especially at this game coming up against Tampa, they do have weapons on the outside with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Like if we're playing prevent against, like, look at Mike Evans last week. He only had 6 receptions, but he had 171 yards and a touchdown. Like, we're not like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are capable of this. I don't care if it's Baker throwing in the ball. Like, it's just sometimes we look lackluster out there between the slot corner and our safety. Just like look like they don't know what's going on, and that's why I hated. What's his name?
You kind of got to understand there's a part of them that kind of doesn't. Yeah. I mean they ran the first team defense a lot of the preseason. They didn't really switch it up a whole lot. We got 2 of our starting safeties right now with Reed Blankenship out are brand new people to the team. Justin Evans, Terrell Edmonds. Who else would be in there? Sidney Brown. Those are 3 guys that have never played for us before. So that's a start right there. The linebacking core, let's look at that. Nakobe Dean was the only returning guy, and he's out.
Yeah.
And then, when you look over at corner, you never want to have to start your backup corners because they're backup corners for a reason. And corner is the hardest position on the field. And losing Avonte Maddox and James Bradbury is very, very painful. And it does make for a lot of communication issues. You see a lot of the time. Like, a lot of the time you'll see, when we have our backup guys in, you'll see an easy pass get completed, and everybody's sitting around like, what the hell was that? Why did that just get completed? And you'll even see Slay on the field looking around like, where was somebody was supposed to be there, and you always end up seeing that it was one of the guys that just randomly got brought into the game. So like, it's tough to expect them to play at full level, and it's going to be hard covering Evans and Godwin, but I'm hopeful that the Eagles can put together a game plan to adjust to that.
Yeah, I'm scared for Mario Goodrich. They were saying, some people are saying like try to move Ringo inside or move Bradbury inside, put Ringo on the outside. I don't know. Do you have any take of like I heard someone say, what if you move Bradbury to slot and then put like Ringo and either Ricks or Job on the outside? What do you think about that? I personally just I just hope we could find someone that's able to be like available and like learn. Like I don't love Mario Goodrich, but if he can like just be like just get a little safety help. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that? I just heard that on the fucking radio.
That's a tough one. There's a part of me that almost thinks that putting Slay in the slot would be better. But I know that obviously leaves a gap of, who covers their best man, which would probably be James Bradbury. But, it's definitely a tough one. I think that you have a little bit of freedom with the fact that Ringo is a rookie. I mean, I feel like you could kind of almost set him in a spot and be like, and teach him the ropes in that spot and kind of get him settled in a specific spot. I don't know if that's dangerous for his development going forward or what we're going to want from him going forward. Yeah, that one's a tough one. I don't know the exact answer to that one, but I think if it were me, I think I would keep everything the same as it is right now and keep Slay and Bradbury still on the outsides and try to run Ringo in the slot if it were up to me, although I know that they're probably going to go with Job first and Goodrich, but I do want to see Ringo get out there sooner or later and get a few more reps. But that's a tough one. Hard to say.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get into this Tampa game. The line opened up at 4.5. We're playing in Tampa on Monday Night Football at 7:15. Part one of the doubleheader on Monday Night Football with the Rams and Bengals playing shortly after us. The Bucs are coming in this game 2-0, coming off a win against the Bears, and then week 1 they beat Minnesota as well. They only won by 3, and we won by 6, so we are definitely a better team. The Bucs are coming in this game, haven't turned the ball over yet this year. Is the biggest thing that I've just looking over every stat. They haven't turned the ball yet over at all, and they won the turnover battle both times. 2-0 in the Bears game, and then the Vikings turned the ball over 3 times, and they haven't been playing anything to make them lose the game. I just don't think they have played that much to win the game either, if I'm being completely honest. Their run defense has been very good. I think their pass defense is pedestrian at best. I don't think Justin Fields played well at all. I saw a lot of throws that he could have made that he was literally not looking at a wide open receiver. And I think we're going to torch him through the air in this game. And I really think we're going to dominate this football game. That's my initial reaction.
What do you well, I mean, we're in a relatively similar spot. I mean, this is obviously a game that we should win. We're a better roster than they are. ESPN Analytics have us at a 70% chance to win this game to their 30. Obviously, I don't buy into that too much. I just want to put it out there that it's pretty obvious that we are the favorites in this game. We should beat this team. The biggest thing for me to make that happen is that we got to make Baker Mayfield uncomfortable. From what it looks like so far, Baker Mayfield hasn't been super uncomfortable in his games. The Vikings were turning the ball over a lot. The Bears were turning the ball over a lot. Like you said, Justin Fields wasn't hitting his guys. We have to be the ones to make him uncomfortable. We've seen Baker Mayfield in previous years. He hasn't looked very good in the past few. Outside of his rookie year, he really hasn't looked good at all. And you got to force him to make mistakes. This is a team that if mistakes are made, they're not going to be able to win the game. This team has to play perfect against us to win this game. And if we can create even one or two mistakes, I don't think it's even close. I do want to see, like you said, I want to see more out of Jalen Hurts. We got to see him passing the ball a little bit more. I'm hoping that he'll get the ball to AJ Brown a little bit extra, clear up that little minuscule beef they had in the sideline last game. For the record, just want to point that out to everybody. That was nothing serious. I'm sure everybody's kind of aware of that now, but heat of the game emotions. They're best friends. They've been best friends for years. They would never break up their friendship over something stupid like that. Do not worry about it. But A.J. Brown definitely wants more receptions, 100%. He wants to get looked at more. I mean, out of Jalen Hurts' 193 yards last game, 131 of them were to Devontae Smith. So, A.J. wants to see the ball more. And I'm hopeful that he can get A.J. involved in the game more, run some more slant routes, just chuck the ball up to him down the field a couple times. Let him do his thing. Let him get the ball from the cornerback. That's what he does best. He doesn't even need to be open. Just throw the ball in his direction, and he will probably a pretty high chance he's going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we were running the ball the entire game, and I guarantee he was just frustrated because, when you're beating a guy, he probably beat that corner like at least 25 times to where he didn't get the ball, and he would beat him if he got the ball. That's just a frustration. Just you have to lash it out. You're like, what am I? You're doing your job right. You're doing your job right, and you just don't get rewarded for it. It's like any job. Like you're doing everything right. It's like, let me get my reward. Like let me get my money. Let me get that touchdown. Let me get that yards. I know he doesn't I doubt he cares about I don't know if he actually cares about the actual stats of the yards and everything, but personal, but I just know that he is dominating, and I think he will be fine. And I think this game is going to be, I just, maybe I'm going crazy, man. I think we win by 3+ touchdowns, and I don't know why I say that. Maybe it's because everyone is telling me that Tampa is actually a good team and a viable team, and I hate when people call fake good teams good teams.
I'm gonna say 2 touchdowns for us. I'm gonna say 35-21. I'm
gonna say 42-17. I think we. AJ Brown, 2 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 151 yards. I just read a stat line. I'm ahead, but I hope they actually put out this video before, that way I can get credit for that stat line. But yeah, we actually Goddard caught a ball in the last game, so I'm hoping to use him a little bit more. Our passing hasn't been amazing. Devonta's been great. But like we mentioned and referred to before, we're a run-first team, and the Bucs are going to try to take that away from us. They saw how dominant we were running the ball last game, and they saw how we struggled passing. What's the first thing you're going to focus on all week during practice is trying, if they can, to stop our O-line from getting that push and creating those gaps. They're a decent run defense. Their strength of their team is their linebacking core and their D-line. So that just caters right into them. If you're looking at right on paper, it's not the best matchup for us because we are a run-first offense. But I don't think that if we get pressure, like you said, on Baker and we're able to force at least 2 turnovers, this game should not be an issue for us whatsoever.
I agree. So there you have it. This is a game that we're both pretty confident that we should have the upper hand in. We obviously do want to see step-ups in certain places from the Eagles, specifically their D coordinator and their passing game. But we know the Buccaneers are a team that need to play perfect to beat us, and we just got to put them in an uncomfortable position to make sure that doesn't happen. Keep the ball moving on the ground, throw a few surprises in there with the pass game, and just keep the ball moving on them, keep the clock moving, and, just do our job. So that game is on Monday at what time? 8:10?
7:15.
7:15. All right, that's a little bit early of a Monday game. I like it.
Yeah, because the Bengals and Rams play at 8:15.
So stay tuned. We will be covering that game after the game concludes. We will be giving our thoughts on the outcome and what we want to see from the Eagles moving forward. So make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Stay tuned with us. Keep checking back in for updates, news, and breakdowns of the Eagles play. And thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you guys. And we're excited for some college football today, some more NFL football tomorrow, and then topping it off with the Eagles on Monday.
Yes, sir. Let's have a weekend.
Yes, sir. We
All
love
right.
a football weekend. So everybody stay inside, stay dry, go Birds, and we will see you guys next week.